There was no famous swoosh. No billion-dollar brand. No global empire. Just one man. A runner. And $500. Phil Knight had a simple idea. What if high-quality running shoes could be made cheaper and sold directly to athletes? It sounded crazy. But that crazy idea would eventually create one of the most powerful brands in the world. This is the story of how Nike started. Phil Knight wasn't born into a shoe empire. He was just a middle-distance runner at the University of Oregon. His coach was a legendary figure in athletics, Bill Bowerman. Bowerman was obsessed with improving performance. He constantly experimented with shoes, cutting them open, changing the soles, making them lighter. Knight saw something interesting. Running shoes were expensive, and most of them were made in Germany. Companies like Adidas and Puma dominated the market. But in Japan, manufacturers were starting to produce high-quality shoes at a much lower cost. Knight had an idea. Import Japanese running shoes into the United States. Sell them to athletes. Better shoes. Lower price. Simple. In 1964, Phil Knight took action. He invested $500 and started a small company called Blue Ribbon Sports. But he didn't open a store. He didn't have a warehouse. Instead, he sold shoes from the trunk of his car. Literally. After running competitions, Knight would open the trunk and show runners the shoes. One pair at a time. Slowly, word started to spread. The shoes were good. Really good. Soon, Bowerman joined the business. Not just as a supporter, but as a partner. Bowerman continued experimenting with shoe designs, trying to make them lighter, faster, better. And athletes loved them. For years, Blue Ribbon Sports sold shoes made by a Japanese company called Onitsuka Tiger. Today we know them as Asics. The partnership worked well at first. Sales grew. The brand became popular among runners. But there was a problem. Blue Ribbon Sports didn't control the product. The shoes belonged to Onitsuka Tiger. And eventually, the relationship began to collapse. The Japanese company started looking for other distributors. Phil Knight realized something terrifying. His entire business could disappear overnight. He had built everything on someone else's product. So Knight made a bold decision. If he couldn't sell someone else's shoes, he would create his own. In 1971, the company launched its own brand. The name was Nike, named after the Greek goddess of victory. But Nike needed a logo. So Knight hired a graphic design student named Carolyn Davidson. She created a simple symbol. A curved line. Clean. Fast. Dynamic. She was paid just $35. That symbol became the Nike swoosh. One of the most recognizable logos in the world. Around the same time, Bowerman made a discovery that would change everything. One morning he was looking at his wife's waffle iron. And he had an idea. What if the rubber sole of a running shoe had the same pattern? He poured rubber into the waffle iron and created a new type of sole. It gave runners better grip, better traction, better speed. That design became the famous Nike waffle sole. Athletes loved it. And Nike started growing fast. Throughout the 1970s, Nike expanded rapidly. They focused on something most companies ignored: athletes. Nike sponsored runners, then basketball players, then global superstars. Instead of just selling shoes, they sold identity, determination, victory. Nike wasn't just a product. It was a mindset. By the 1980s, the company exploded. Then came a partnership that changed sports marketing forever. Michael Jordan? The Air Jordan line became legendary. And Nike became unstoppable. Today Nike is worth over $200 billion. Its logo is recognized across the planet. And millions of athletes wear the brand every day. But it all started with something incredibly small. A runner? A coach? A car trunk? And $500. Phil Knight once said, "Don't tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do, and they will surprise you with their ingenuity." Nike's story isn't just about shoes. It's about vision, risk, and believing in an idea long before anyone else does. Because sometimes the biggest empires start with the